at some of the best moments from recent episodes. We start in South Africa, where a hot air balloon pilot is soaring to new heights.
Greatest lesson of ballooning is the art of acceptance. I am an overthinker by nature, but ballooning has taught me to let go. And when you let go, it's phenomenal how things turn to fall into place.
I use aviation to inspire youth to follow their passions. My name is Makaleng Matebula. I'm South Africa's first black female hot air balloon pilot, and I am a change maker.
Sema Kaleng Matebula says there's a lot more to piloting a hot air balloon than majestic views and floating in the clouds.
It is a lot of hard work. It's not just flying a plane and taking cool selfies with the pilot uniform. It is discipline, it is honor, it is respect, it is responsibility, and it is accountability. And you go up with gas and a flame and fingers crossed.
We got to spend a weekend with Sema, learning the ups and downs of hot air ballooning.
So a day in my life entails 2 a.m. morning weather checks. We get to the balloon field, freezing cold, but the excitement of the free flight keeps you going. We set up the balloon and then we get to float in the clouds for an hour or so, and then we touch down and we're back to Joburg and our everyday lives while everyone is stuck in traffic.
A lot of work is required to prep the balloon, which Sema says inflates to the size of a 12-story building.
And if you can hear anything or smell anything, you have a gas leak, which is the last thing you want when you're going to play with an open flame. Two, three, four, and there we go. So cold inflation gives it its form, hot inflation lets it oscillate for flight. It gets really big very quickly. If you blink, you'll miss it. Just standing here gives you the magnitude of the balloon. So balloons make for terrible conversation areas because mid-chat you just have to burn.
Sema says she fell into her high-flying career by chance.
So I hold a joint honours in politics and international relations from WITS, but finding a job in the industry proved to be very difficult. I consulted professional help and they introduced me to the ballooning and aviation industry. So 2018, I started as a marketing assistant. It was actually the 2018 Hot Air Balloon Championships the week before I started working for the ballooning industry. I saw my first hot air balloon at that champs, fell completely in love, went from marketing office to balloon field to kitchen to everywhere the industry could take me. And then in 2019, the Balloon and Airship Federation of South Africa, BAFSA, and the Department of Sport and Recreation put together a grant to train young upcoming youth and black youth in the sport to kind of facilitate this form of access and interest in the sport. I wanted to be part of this industry and make my mark. And that's when I realized that it goes beyond just the office and the field. I can actually be a pilot. There was no black pilot to reference to, but I knew that there was space for me, and I created that space.
That sense of tenacity is something Sema says she has had from childhood.
My childhood was a mix of excitement, adventure, and a lot of nerves from my mother. I don't think she expected her last born to be the chaotic one.
He's like, I'm on air for us.
Sema says her family keeps her grounded, But this pilot won't stop soaring anytime soon.
What drives me is my need for more. Oh my goodness, I have dreams bigger than my little feet can carry, and I always look beyond what can be attained. When we started this journey, the goal was getting a license. I have my license now.
You do realize you're on your own now, eh?
I do, and you were right about the weight. What I want to do next is I want to become an instructor so I can train young youth and we can have junior championships in the country. I want to be able to represent the country globally, represent the continent globally. It's such a wonderful industry. It builds your confidence, and it also is the most phenomenal way to give youth and young people and old people a sense of responsibility.
Next, a Ugandan doctor shows us the device he created to locate veins more easily.
20,000 naira for free. 20,000 naira bonus.
Is your line blocked? Then move to Glow.
I'm reconnected.
Because we've all reconnected. And it's simple, simple.
Dial *109#
And link your NIN to your new or existing Glow number.
Get up to 20,000 naira for free with Glow.
20,000 naira bonus free.
Yes, so free.
Niger, what are you waiting for?
This is a really important story.
My name's Clarissa Ward. I work for CNN.
Assalamu alaikum.
Day in, day out, you see the reality of people living through this.
Ничего страшного.
Okay.
This is the front line.
On a human level, you find courage, sacrifice. This is what life is about.
A lot of people are wondering why.
You see the worst of humanity.
Putin might use a nuclear weapon.
Absolutely terrifying.
But you also see the best of humanity. My job is to be present.
The human cost is right here.
And to tell these stories.
We're talking about families.
That is the most important thing.
I'm Clarissa Ward in Ukraine. This
This
is CNN.
When Julius Mubiru was only 1.5 years old, he spent 2 weeks in the hospital suffering from an asthma attack, the first of many.
I used to be so sick, so I'd spend a lot of time in the hospital.
Though he's healthy now, one thing that always stuck with him was getting jabbed multiple times before a clinician successfully found a vein.
I think this one, along the way, motivated me to go into the line of health. That is to try and give back a service to help with challenges which you find as a child. The aspect of being in the hospital gave me like a motivation to try and come up with a solution to help out.
In 2015, Julius and a team of engineers at the Mbarara University of Science and Technology came up with an idea to create a device that could find veins more easily.
The standard of care, or what we call the way how clinicians are currently doing the procedure, is to use anatomical knowledge. They will teach you that a vein passes here. So the A-light vein locator is used so that you can easily identify where the vein is, and you draw the blood samples or you give the medication. This means that the child will not have to be pricked so many times, which is very painful to the child, but even for the parents. Very traumatic for them to see their sick babies going through a lot of pain. Basically, this is how it comes.
Vein locating devices exist already in other parts of the world, but Julius says they aren't feasible in Uganda for multiple reasons.
But these devices do not put into the consideration the African context, both in making and also, which also translates into the costing. For example, some need more than 2 clinicians to work with them, and also the technology behind them. Some use infrared, others are ultrasound based. So you have a lot of equipment which are needed to process the images. What we are doing, we are using visible light, where you do not need extra equipment to process the image, and then also one clinician can operate it. And this is very important because in Africa, the patient to doctor ratio is very high, 25,000 to 1, so you do not have the luxury of numbers. This is how we are trying to put the African context into the design.
The A-Light vein locator is still in the prototype phase, and Julius's team is constantly updating it based on user feedback.
Okay, so this one is the laboratory where the A-Light vein locator team works with our A-Light engineers.
Okay, good morning, guys. Thanking us to do some of the reviews we picked from the data.
The idea of A-Light came to light during a MedTech hackathon, where Julius met co-founder Lydia Asimwe.
The team that was forming to create the solution had to be diverse. So it needed a medical person on the team, it needed some technicians, it needed people from the business background. So working with Julius is interesting. He's, first of all, very knowledgeable of his subject matter, of his area of expertise in medicine. He's always reading, always coming up with something new, always researching. I love that about him. So with him, it's continuous innovation, continuous learning. So this device started from a very simple prototype, lab-based prototype, very huge. It has come a long way to where it is now. There are mighty men and women and organizations that have mentored us to be where we are today.
Julius and his colleagues are currently in clinical trials with their device, under the guidance of Principal Investigator Jerome Kabachenga.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning to you. How are the preliminary results?
The results were promising. We haven't at least had any adverse effects, which is a promising thing.
As a health worker, I have also been challenged with identifying vessels. The vein locator at least has moved a stage from the proof of concept to now reaching a stage of clinical trials. And I would expect that once it has passed the initial stage of clinical trials, then it can go to like scaling up, using it to a bigger number of children.
The journey of the vein locator has given me a lot of opportunities to learn about clinical trials, but then also the ability to run projects. And I believe that this is a point which professionally can push me to even bigger projects, both on the continent, but then also on the world scene, so that we contribute to the general well-being of everyone.
Times 10! Get a Glow SIM today and enjoy 1,000 Naira sign-on bonus for voice and data. All new and existing Glow subscribers also get 10 times the value of their every recharge, plus up to double their data recharge as bonus. All Glow subscribers also get up to free 20,000 Naira bonus for voice and data.
We share this place, we all belong. We have to restore this planet's soul. Give it water, give it sun, room to grow. I can see a better tomorrow. I can see a better tomorrow.
I would describe One World as compelling, inclusive, and original.
One World with Zain Asher, tonight on CNN.
We're revisiting some of the best moments from recent episodes of African Voices Changemakers. In South Africa, we saw how one photographer is using their lens to shed light on the LGBTQ community. Zanele Moholi is a prolific South African artist and self-described visual activist. using photography as their main medium since the early 2000s.
I grew up under heavy apartheid, so I understand how that informs my current visual documentation. So my mom was a domestic worker. My father has since died, and my mom had to raise 8 children on her own. So my childhood was just a household with no father. And then my mom at work.
This inspired their series of photographs titled Masa and Mina, which portrayed Zanele as a domestic worker.
And I have images of myself as a domestic, and I share some of the images as part of this narrative. Even visiting like my clients' homes with domestic workers, somehow it triggers because I see my mom in them.
Zanele struggled with their identity for years. Because of the lack of representation in media, Zanele says they didn't know who or what they were.
How do you come out without any magazines that looks or tells the story of you becoming is not what is expected? My journey has not been easy. It's still not easy, but I make it possible because I believe that what I do needs to be done. The one that you have, you could put with this one.
Zanele decided to make it their responsibility to bring awareness to the LGBTQIA+ community.
Between like that period, like 1999, 2000, 2001, I'll go to the township doing community outreach work, where I reported on the lives of Black lesbians in different townships. I did not have much reference point when it comes to Black lesbian photographies from here. We're mostly reliant on international books, magazines.
In 2006, Zanele started a new series called Faces and Phases, which celebrates the Black gay community.
Faces and Phases is a lifetime project. As you see here, you have 16 years of work. What is important is the content, the people in it, and what they have to say. So this period of living and loving and transforming and transitioning is very, very key because it's a documentation that is hardly captured by us.
Zanele released a book of self-portraits in 2018, Somnyama Ngonyama, which translates as Hail the Dark Lioness. The portraits pay homage to the history of Black women and identity. Since its release, Zanele has been working on a sequel.
And I'm preparing for my next book here, the next Somnyama Ngonyama book. It's work over the past few years. These are my co-editors. So we're editing the book. Then we go to the lab. We process properly the final. Let's say, with a pool of 100 images, only 92 will make sense or will be in the book. It doesn't matter how many I produce. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense.
Zanele is set to release an exclusive line of home accessories, which link back to the original Somnyama Ngonyama.
You are at Somnyama Ngonyama's showroom, which will be strictly available or only at the museum shops or will be accessible to my collectors. These designs are original photographs from my book, Somnyama Ngonyama, which was launched in 2018. I have worked with people before, but nobody has seen me like this way. So it goes back to the whole, saying that sometimes we need to produce work that lives beyond us.
Zanele has a long list of awards and accolades, including receiving a French knighthood. They never accept awards fully for themselves, and rather accept it on behalf of their community.
So, to be knighted, it means that the queer community is knighted alongside me. So any award, any prize is not for me. It's about a community that still needs to be serviced, to be resourced. I'm shaped by the village, I'm shaped by the queer community, and I forever bow to every human being that has given back to something. I grew up poor, but now I'm richer. The information that I produce makes me feel rich and somehow content because I like what I do. I love my work so much.
Next, we'll revisit the Zimbabwean woman who's promoting girls' education across the continent.
20,000 naira for free.
20,000 naira bonus.
Is your line blocked? Then move to Glow.
I'm reconnected.
Because we've all reconnected. And it's simple.
Dial *109#
and link your NIN to your new or existing Glow number.
Get up to 20,000 naira for free with Glow.
20,000 naira bonus free.
Yes, so free.
Niger, what are you waiting for?
Tuesday, it's time to celebrate with Coast to Coast fireworks and music from Pitbull, Maren Morris, Machine Gun Kelly, Journey, Gloria Estefan, T-Pain, Old Dominion, the Doobie Brothers, Willie Nelson, and so much more. This 4th in America, join Don Lemon, Dana Bash, Ana Cabrera, and Sarah Seidner. Celebrate the 4th in America. Live Tuesday on CNN.
So I want you to say what you want to become loudly so that we all hear it and you hear it yourself.
Angeline Murmirwa believes knowledge is power.
Education is justice. Giving everybody an opportunity to go to school is justice. It tells every child that they belong, that they own their destiny, that they can shape it.
Angeline promotes girls' education across Africa through the Campaign for Female Education, or CAMFED. The NGO partners with more than 7,000 schools across 5 countries to provide educational opportunities and tackle poverty at its core.
We provide the financial support, the social support, and the community support for those girls who get places to go to secondary school to be able to proceed. I believe that in education lies all the answers with regards to fighting poverty on the continent. For starters, it's about inclusion. To date, we have supported over 5 million girls through school. Our strategic plan up to 2025 is to support 5 million more through school.
For Angeline, the organization's work is personal. She understands all too well what it's like to struggle to stay in school.
I was born by poor parents, subsistence farmers who didn't have enough to eat, let alone invest in my education. I personally know how painful it is to be excluded from education, to be told that you can't sit in this class alongside your peers because you cannot meet the cost is powerfully painful.
Angeline was one of the first young women to receive support from CAMFED.
I was clear that I wasn't going to proceed to secondary school. So when CAMFED selected me, the fact that I had school fees guaranteed, I had all school-going costs guaranteed, for me, I was hopeful. I realized that I could go back home and do something with the education rather than despair and worry about what was going on at home at that particular time. So I don't need an imagination to know what could have become of me, because when I got the chance to be supported by CAMFED, I had colleagues who didn't get it, and I have seen how their lives turned up. So for me, it's how do I use this privilege that I got?
Today, she's meeting with several women in Malawi who graduated school with CAMFED's help.
So are you going to take us in?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see. Charity is a CAMFED Association member, and she's an entrepreneur. She sells fabrics, materials, laces, and just now I'm buying my own fabric so that I can do my chilundu, right? Yeah.
I decided to employ my fellow CAMFED Association member as one way of encouraging sisterhood. My greatest vision is to transform these fabric services place to be the tailoring service.
2? You think 2 would be enough?
2, yeah.
Okay.
Other members have chosen to go back to their former schools as learner guides to mentor students.
We understand that it's not enough for a child just to walk through the school gates and to just meet their school uniforms or their school needs. It's also important for learners to have social support to be able to navigate school and home life for them to be able to make a success. And this is led by our learner guides, and our social support is to all students, both boys and girls. Because for us, it's important for students to learn, stay in school, and succeed.
The association has also developed a climate-smart agriculture guide program to invest in female farmers and combat climate change.
Our Working Climate Action looks into how do we support communities to be able to use climate-smart approaches to be able to increase their yields, but also to be able to respond to climate shocks. I'm so excited to be here because we're in Mulanje now and we're at Edith's farm. This is the rice farm, massive farm. Comfort supported her through school from 2013, but she's now running her own enterprise, and this is big for every young woman that we support. And she's a role model in her community, and others also know that if you support a girl, everything changes, and her story is a testament to that.
Whether in agriculture or fashion, their success gives Angeline hope that one day every girl in Africa will be given equal opportunity to learn. And she says she will not stop until that dream becomes a reality.
For every girl out there, poor or not, struggling or not, you matter. You are important. You have every right to be here. You belong, and you are alive for a reason. And you have an opportunity to be able to make this world a better place. There's only one you, and the world needs you in this time, in this generation. Be you, and you know, you always have a cheerleader in me.
Thanks so much for watching. You can find past episodes and so much more at our website. We'll be back next week with some new and exciting changemakers.
African Voices Changemakers, in association with Glow Unlimited.
Brekete times 10. Get a Glow SIM today and enjoy 1,000 Naira sign-on bonus for voice and data. All new and existing Glow subscribers also get 10 times the value of their every recharge, plus up to double their data recharge as bonus. All Glow subscribers also get up to free 20,000 Naira bonus for voice and data.
We try to be global and we try to be smart. And we try very hard to get both of those every week. But I want to hear our authentic voices of people who are passionate or intelligent about a subject, who will make you smarter, move you emotionally, who will kind of challenge your mind or move your heart, and that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria GPS, Sundays on CNN.
You can help the refugees from Ukraine. Join the over 80,000 who've already raised millions for food, shelter, and more. Explore cnn.com/impact. Click to take action.
We decided a few years ago to set out on a journey which we call Enable a Fossil-Free Living Within One Generation. And you can see all around Europe that the competitive situation is shifting away from fossil fuels and into renewables and into more nuclear power. So you can see that there's a lot of innovation going on around the fossil-free technologies, and you can also clearly see that the customer demand is shifting. And today I think we can see that companies and customers are actually moving much faster than nations or global initiatives. So I think that this is a business strategy for us. It's not a sustainability strategy first and foremost. It's a business strategy and it is sustainable, but we can clearly see that through this transformation, we are actually getting increasingly competitive.
This is CNN. More people get their news from CNN than any other news source.
Inside Africa, in association with Zenith Bank.
We've been harnessing the power of the sun since the beginning of time. And in recent years, large-scale solar power plants have been powering communities and industry across the continent. Yet, the limits of solar's potential continue to be pushed by leading scientists in such fields as medicine and agriculture.
This is what I want to be doing. This is the kind of innovation I'm talking about.
The only way to take solutions to the hinterland where the problems are is energy innovation.
These are energy innovators. This is Inside Africa.
Africans may have thought that they are unable to create solutions for their culture-specific needs and perhaps require someone who looks like them to demonstrate that technological independence of Africa is actually a reality if they want to focus on it. This is the reason I focused my career on this.
Hippolyte Amade has dedicated over 20 years to developing cost-effective, solar-powered devices for neonatal care in Nigeria.
Africa is my continent of origin, so I've got this emotional attachment to what is happening in Africa. Because I understand the African terrain, I could create technologies specific to African needs.
Neonatal deaths have been gradually falling in Nigeria in recent years, but still remain high compared to the Western world. An average of 36 newborns died from 1,000 births in 2020, according to the World Bank.
The three main challenges that hinder effective neonatal care in Nigeria. Number one, I would say insufficiency of referral centers to help the babies. Number two would be that even the centers that exist, they are massively ill-equipped. But the most annoying of all this, the third one, was that the few equipment that are available will not even run consistently and constantly when you need them because of power cuts.
Hippolyte felt compelled to help and devise inexpensive, scalable solutions.
Some neonates will, perhaps if they are massively distressed, under 3 days to 5 days, they will die of that distress. This machine will discharge them even in 2 days.
This prototype of a non-invasive ventilator for newborns was made in 2017.
The job it does is to help babies to breathe and even teach babies how to breathe. After purifying the air and mixing the air and oxygen, it passes through a humidifier, which is at the back of the machine. Then it goes into this respiratory circuit. So this is the bit that goes to the baby, the baby's nostrils. And then you will now be able to control how long the air stays in the lungs before it comes out through your manipulation of the end respiratory pressure, which is controlled by water column.
The design underwent 2 more iterations before being mass-produced for a fraction of the cost of standard neonate ventilators in Nigeria, according to Hippolyte.
This prototype is running on mains electricity. But the ones that we are creating that goes to the villages have got cigarette lighter input that goes to the solar generated power. So babies that would otherwise not have access to ventilators are having polite heart save their lives.
The ventilator is one of 10 medical devices Hippolyte has adapted to run on solar for rural and city hospitals in Nigeria.
What I do is to create a module that enables this machine to run on low voltage, which I harvest from the sun. Okay, so you have the wide range of the devices, specialized devices that I want to run, even at the hardest to reach village locations, but have to make use of little amount of power and little amount of voltage to run them. So I have incubators, resuscitators, syringe drivers. I have what we call the Polite Light Bank PLB, which is essentially a light-giving device that lights the entire complex. You would think that you have some massive generator or maybe grid electricity, but it's just a humble savings from our sun.
Hippolyte has worked with hospitals across the country, but there's one in southeastern Nigeria that's particularly close to his heart.
Owerri is the capital city of Imo State in Nigeria, which is my state of origin. So that is the birthplace of my father. So I have this emotional attachment to Imo State. And the Federal Medical Center of Owerri is the largest hospital in the state. Who knows, among those tiny babies in need could be better Professor Hippolyte of tomorrow. So I've got to help them.
Next, Hippolyte is checking in on the center's progress.
That's why I created this technology, so I can take my medicine to where they are and save them.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
I want to go now to an incredible story of survival. Could all this spending lead to a bigger economic crisis? Or would you do it all again in terms of being a nurse?
I want to help people more than I ever have.
Aaron Burnett out front on CNN.
This is a really important story. My name's Clarissa Ward. I work for CNN.
Assalamu alaikum.
Day in, day out, you see the reality of people living through this.
Ничего страшного.
Okay.
This is the front line.
On a human level, you find courage, sacrifice. This is what life is about.
A lot of people are wondering why.
You see the worst of humanity.
Putin might use a nuclear weapon.
Absolutely terrifying.
But you also see the best of humanity. My job is to be present.
The human cost is right here.
And to tell these stories.
We're talking about families.
That is the most important thing. I'm Clarissa Ward in Ukraine. This is CNN.
The Federal Medical Center in Owerri, southeastern Nigeria, is one of the busiest in the country, treating close to 30,000 babies every year.
Power supply is quite challenging. Sometimes power is not available. Other times it is very irregular. Even when it's there, at times it's not the right quality. It's either too high or too low for our delicate equipment and our delicate babies.
Hippolyte Amade, a specialist in neonatal care and energy innovation, has been rebuilding the equipment in the special care newborn unit to run on solar power.
This is nursing incubator. It's a power guzzler, but I have cracked the solution by modifying a typical neonatal incubator, adapting it to be powered by the sun. And then the incubator has the ability for you to select that if you're running it on the mains or on solar. Here again is another essential device. This is the Colibri. Normally, from here, you would take conventional power to operate the Colibri. But right now, the Colibri, through that cigarette lighter, is taking power from my son. I've already remodified the things inside, and you can now run the Colibri, and then the sun will power it for you. You can treat jaundice at the remotest part of the world using conventionally tried and tested devices.
The devices also include transport incubators, which can be plugged into a car's cigarette lighter plug in case of an emergency on the road.
That's why I created this technology, so I can take my medicine to where they are and save them. And it will be a thing of the past for us to be losing babies. So there are a total of about 7 different solar solutions that cover the entire neonatology, making it absolutely possible for neonatology or neonatal care to be performed in any part of the world. Provided the sun comes out every day, you're covered. But the most important one, I want to tell you people that you may not just see physical now because it's daytime, is that 100% of the power that I need to light this place, both this place, the junior doctor's room, senior doctor's room, and nursing mother's room, 100% of the energy I require to light this place I generate from the sun.
Hippolyte's enthusiasm is infectious, inspiring the next generation of doctors to become problem solvers.
I met Professor Hippolyte in 2015 during one of his consultancy visits to my unit, newborn unit. So he provided alternative solution for our power supply needs in the unit. I was quite inspired by somebody bringing this innovation. This is like providing solution to what we need. Light has always been an issue. Electricity in Nigeria has always been an issue. So somebody being able to provide an alternative for us, a solution to that problem, that was a great motivation for me. And I was amazed by his ingenuity. And for me, it's like in alignment with, oh, this is what I want to be doing. This is what I love seeing.
Temilade asked Hippolyte to be her mentor and has witnessed the creation of some of his life-saving inventions firsthand.
For us, respiratory distress syndrome is a huge problem in the unit. So you have children finding it difficult to breathe. All we can provide for them is oxygen, which is not enough. That's not what they need. They need an assistance for them to be able to breathe better. The unit doesn't have the money to purchase the high-end equipment that is needed. Then our prof was like, oh, but we can do something. We can come up with a machine of our own that is low cost, that the unit can avoid, and yet can serve in saving the babies. So when this whole idea started and then seeing it coming into fruition, and then you see the machine, you put the baby on the machine, you see them gradually improving on that machine, it was like, yes, this is it. This is what I want to be doing. This is the kind of innovation I'm talking about. Need-based solution in the African context. For me, that was like, oh yes, so it's doable. We can do it. We can provide solution in the context of Nigeria. So in short, I see myself on that decision-making platform, providing solutions to African problems.
We have power all the time. Appropriate power, the right quality of power. It's unique in so many ways. We are able to deliver services at a much cheaper cost, so that the monies we're able to save from here, we can deploy to other parts of healthcare to the benefit of our patients.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Our mission here at CNN, the news comes first.
More breaking news that we are following right now. Welcome to the Situation Room. We have breaking news.
A 2-hour drive from Malawi's capital, Lilongwe, you'll find the childhood home of one of East Africa's most famous inventors.
They say that necessity is the mother of the innovation. So always like trying to find the ways how I can be able to solve some of the problems that people are facing.
William Kamkwamba was just 14 years old when he built a windmill from recycled parts to save his family's farm from a devastating drought.
Because of that drought, I couldn't go to school, and I started going to the library, reading books, and one book had a picture of the windmill, and they say windmill could pump water. The word pump water attracted my attention. I say, if I can build a windmill to pump water, then I can solve this problem.
Local farmers and journalists learned about his ingenuity, and his story spread across the world.
I found William's story just deeply inspiring, basically, and hopeful and optimistic.
William's life story was adapted into a best-selling book, and then later, a Netflix feature film, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind.
I don't take myself as like a famous, but I feel that I can do something that I can be able to help out here in Malawi. Either it's not like me doing like the work, but if I can inspire other young people to do either it's similar to what I did or different, that can solve the problem that they are facing in their own communities, I'll be very happy.
In 2008, William co-founded the Moving Windmills Project to help solve water and energy problems in the local community, including at his former secondary school.
So in this school, the project we have done, we have installed solar panels. As you can see, this school doesn't have electricity. So we want to make sure that the students, they can have electricity. They can be able to start at night, but also they can use laptops using the electricity from the solar. I had an idea how electricity can be generated. I faced a lot of challenges when I started that could have simply stopped me from achieving what I achieved.
I wish to be like him because I also have a vision to help my fellow students when I grow up.
Whenever I see something new, I want to tell, how does it work? How is it happening?
William went on to study engineering at Dartmouth College in the United States.
I was working at the machine shop helping students that they had a project for their class to make parts of their project designing at the machine shop. So that really inspired me that if I can have a similar machine shop here in Malawi, working with younger people, we can come up with a lot of ideas, ideas that can actually solve the problem that they are facing in their own communities.
One such idea he's working on is electric bikes powered by solar-charged batteries.
The bicycles are very important because they are means of transportation. A lot of people who don't have cars depend on the bike to carry pretty much everything that you have. We are making our own battery pack, designing our own battery, so the size of the battery can also respond how far, what the range of the bike can be.
This initiative is one of many William has set up with young people through his Moving Windmills project. They have several community hubs where students can play maths games and study.
The main goal for Moving Windmills is to inspire young people to seek solutions to their own problems and challenges, and giving them the tools that they can help them to achieve that goals.
The next step is building an innovation center in Kasungu, where his work is based, to empower the next generation of Malawian problem solvers.
Let's go check it out this way. Watch your step.
Still in the fundraising stage, the center's 30-acre site is being designed by Mass Design Group, who specialize in community-centered architecture across the world. The center aims to gather hundreds of students, mentors, and community members per year, and run programs in areas like developing new farming practices that'll help improve livelihoods. And of course, true to William's first invention, windmills will be providing water and power to the entire campus.
I wish if I had a space that will have tools that I can work on my design, and also finding mentorship that I needed to help me throughout my process. I wish I have had that. That's why I want to give that chance opportunity to other young people, that they are allowed like to tinker and use the tools that they need and have the mentorship that they can be able to guide them on what they are doing.
Thinking of banking in Africa? Think Zenith. In today's fast-moving, fast-changing world, you need a financial partner that understands your unique expectations. A bank with presence in major financial centers across the world, with the enabling platform to facilitate seamlessly, whenever, wherever, however. A bank with best-in-class financial solutions from a superb combination of technology and human touch for easy, fast, and secure banking that creates real value. Turning dreams into reality is now in your hands. People, technology, service. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Tuesday, celebrate with fireworks and music from Pitbull, Maren Morris, Machine Gun Kelly, Journey, Gloria Estefan, T-Pain, the Doobie Brothers, and more. Celebrate the 4th in America, live Tuesday on CNN.
Markets in Ghana and across the continent are a staple part of daily life. But food insecurity is becoming a bigger global issue as a result of climate change, among other factors.
Okay, so I'll buy cucumber 2 cedis, carrot 2 cedis.
Entrepreneur Laurentia Kwanzaa hopes technology will help solve the problem locally.
As young people, we were studying the university, and then we had to think of what to do next when we are done. And so with these food security issues that we had, we're like, if we could solve the food security issues at the same time, create jobs for ourselves and for other people, it would be a good thing. So we were like, okay, then how can we do this? How can we bring this idea? And whilst we are creating jobs for ourselves and for other people, we are also helping add something little to solving the food security issues in the country.
In a town called Kasua on the outskirts of Ghana's capital, Accra, Laurentia is growing fish and vegetables through an aquaponics system.
We have our fish tank. We are growing catfishes in these fish tanks.
Simply put, aquaponics is a closed-loop farming system that allows for the growing of fish or crops without the use of soil. The fish's nutrient-rich manure nourishes the plant, which in turn filters the water that feeds back to the fish tank.
We have a chop and flip system here, and we are growing red leaf lettuce and flat leaf lettuce. And in here we have our fishes, and we have a submersible pump inside that actually pumps the nutrient-rich water from the fish tank to our grow bed, and the water goes back to the fishes. So you can see the water is clean because the plants take out the nutrients.
One of the downsides of aquaponics systems is they require a large amount of energy to run. But the pumps are solar powered, so they can be used in off-grid areas or where power outages are common.
We decided to actually go with solar because the electricity supply here is not really reliable. You really can't tell when the lights will go off. And since the system is mainly dependent on pumping water, we have to look for a more reliable method, and solar was probably the best option for us here.
It's an idea Laurentia has been discussing with university friends for years, but firmly took root during the COVID-19 pandemic.
During that moment, we realized this is something that even for future pandemics, if somebody could grow food themselves at home, and if you can't even move around, then it's something that it's worth investing into. So it was during COVID-19 that we bootstrapped and decided to actually build a prototype. So I'll say that was like a key moment, because that was when we had something we could prove, something physical.
Laurentia created her first aquaponics kit in 2020. And while solar panels are still expensive to buy, she tries to keep costs down by selling kits in various sizes with cost-effective smart sensors.
When it comes to aquaponics, you have to check and make sure water quality parameters are well, your system is going on well, and we are doing that using the help of sensors. We provide training, and we have a mobile app that help those who grow their vegetables and fishes market those products on their app, and also take courses. If you want to learn how to run your aquaponics system, you take those courses in the app.
So far, Laurentia says they've trained about 200 people to use the aquaponics kit.
The proudest moment will be when we got shortlisted for the Africa Prize of Engineering Innovation. So we had the idea and we are trying to make people believe in it. We applied